What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for jumping into another video. Let's talk about the market and what we saw today, Friday, August 29th. It was one of those days where yesterday we weren't sure about the market. We were just coming off the NVIDIA earnings on Wednesday. Thursday, we had sort of a bit of a slow day, although it had a bit of a rally on Thursday, right? Things pumped, things were moving. I remember Thursday I made money in SoundHound. I think I made money in SoFi. I had some really good days and some things were really cranking along. But that led us to believe, like, okay, what's Friday going to look like? Especially a Friday that we're going into a 3-day weekend with the Labor Day holiday. Well, I'm going to tell you, today didn't disappoint. It wasn't an incredible day. The first part of the day was kind of rough. We woke up to basically the S&P 500 dumping. If you look here in the charts, you can see that yesterday, Thursday, the S&P 500, and I'm looking at this on a 30-minute chart. Let's go to 15 just to give you a little bit of a better viewpoint of it. But yesterday, we literally made this new all-time high. 649.79 is another new all-time high. And everybody was thinking literally the same thing. And I had been having multiple conversations with people saying, what now? What next? Listen, we are a couple days away from September 1st. And literally, like clockwork, September, the market starts to turn. You have market manipulation, you have algorithm manipulation, you've got market rotation, okay, where money's going to start moving around the different sectors because people are moving money. You're going to have major sell-offs and everybody freaks like, oh my gosh, what's going on in the stock market? Major sell-off. Okay, listen, most companies end of August, September into the first week or so in October are selling off enough to pay taxes, enough to prepare for the end of year, okay, so that they can secure profits, secure their financial situation so that they're ready to go from quarter four into the new quarter 2026. It's not abnormal. You have to know, as traders, as investors, whether you are a retail day trader or a retail investor or an investor overall, you've got to know where the money moves. You have to follow the money and you've got to move from sector to sector. Okay. And there's some real easy ways to identify what sectors and where that money is moving. You got to do some homework. You got to do some research. And you know what? This may be a great opportunity. I might make a video about sector manipulation and where the money moves based on the time of the year. Probably a good video to spit out, but not in this one. This one, we're just talking about basically what happened today in the market again for August 29th, this Friday. So we're looking at the S&P 500, nice run up, ran kind of horizontal through the overnight hours. In the morning 4 a.m. hours, it started to dump, and I know I'm very dramatic in that. Then it ran horizontal, so it was already down here. It hit a low point of 646.56. Not too bad because it was at 649. All right, so $3 to $4 spread down. Then it came and it started to come back up. And personally, I was kind of looking at it thinking like, okay, not too bad. S&P 500 is coming up. But remember, if you have watched my previous videos, you know that I have a position in SQQQ. And I took that position waiting for Jerome Powell to sink the market, which he didn't sink the market. It actually went in the opposite direction because people wanted to hear something good. And so my SQQQ ran completely down while the S&P 500 ran up. Well, this morning, my SQQQ regained some nice momentum and ran up. And I'll show it to you before we shut this video down. But it was a highlight of my day to know the SQQQ was kind of working some magic for me. And then it had this hard drop all the way to 643.14. And it sort of ran a little bit volatile, up and down, with a little bit of an upward spread. And then it continued in the aftermarket, a little bit up and running, just sort of running sort of horizontal, which makes me wonder what's going to happen Monday night. Because remember, our market shut down Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for Labor Day. Monday night, 8 p.m. is when the market's going to reopen. Are we going to gap up and gap down? Right? Are we going to gap up or gap down? That's the question I always ask. You've probably heard it a million times from me, but I look at that to understand what potentially could be happening with the market the next morning or even running through the night based on that gap up or gap down. And does it hold? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But it makes a lot of decisions for me on how I'm going to trade and whether I'm going to be waiting for the market to open, if I'm going to do some trades pre-market, or if I'm waiting for the past 10 o'clock rule to see if I'm going to be getting into any of my trades. So S&P 500 rough day. But you have to remember, this 643.14 closed at 645.05 not too long ago was the new all-time high. So you can't really complain. This is not 500, right? It's not 550. It's not dropping tremendously, right? It's not major sell-off. Just basically the market moves. Let's just kind of go. We're going to look at a few of the stocks that I was monitoring and was in and out of today. So APLD, a couple of the guys I trade with basically said, hey, APLD's at the bottom. Josh, let's go. Let's get in. And I did want to give a shout out. Jim and Shaf, a few of the guys that are in Discord are calling things out in the morning now. You know, I thank you guys. You've listened. You understand what you're doing. You're learning. It's awesome. It's impressive to have good, talented, experienced traders in the Discord that are now calling out the turns. They're watching and seeing the change of the candle. They're seeing the support and resistance levels, and they're calling it out. This morning, they called it out to me. Josh, APLD is at the bottom, making the turn. Time to get in. And guess what? I did. I got in, and I was happy that I wasn't the one sitting there debating it. They made the decision for me, and bam, I was in it. APLD got in at about 1560 something. I don't remember exactly. And ran it all the way up to $16. And I got out at 1602. I know some of the other guys got out at 1603. But just a nice run for APLD. And it didn't even do that much. That's the crazy thing, right? It even closed at 1598, sitting at 1592 after the 8 p.m. bell. But it didn't even do that much today. But the winner, and I'm going to also call out Frozen Randy, Jason. Jason called it SoundHound. And man, I was on the fence. You know, I day traded SoundHound the last 2 days in a row. Why I didn't continue my confidence in SoundHound, because SoundHound performed really much better than APLD did. And look, they had this drop 12.19, and it's okay if you got in somewhere around here, everybody. That's okay, because when it got down and made the turn, it did nothing but run up, and it had this high. And even in the closing, even right before closing at 8 p.m., which gives me some pretty awesome hope for what it's going to do on Tuesday morning. And I'm going to be, hey, just to let everybody know, this is probably my last live video for about a week. I've got several training videos, candlestick and pattern training, that I'm going to be launching this week and scheduling. I'll be doing some live shorts from vacation, but my family and I are heading off onto another cruise. We're going on Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas. Very excited. Got some very cool things planned. ATV, some ATV tour that takes us through mud trails and to the cenotes. And then we're doing a kayak adventure. It's just some things that we need to do. We're very excited to do, and it's going to be a nice big family gathering. Very, very excited about it. So unfortunately, there won't be any real live updates, but I will be trading. If you know from watching my videos in the last cruise I was on in July, I woke up in the morning, started watching the market and the pre-market, did some quick trades in and out while the family was sleeping, then put the phone away, went back to bed, woke up with everybody like nothing happens. So, you know, I'm going to do it again because we got the internet package for our phones, for my MacBook, ready to go. So I will share that with you on the journey. And I will share with you while I'm on the cruise ship some live walks and things around the ship and talk about the market based on what I'm seeing. So anyway, I hope you all have an awesome trading week. But back to what I'm talking about, SoundHound was the winner. 1302, 1309 right now. Beautiful, beautiful run. Incredible run. Almost a full dollar per share. Put $1,000 in it. That's a nice $1,000 easily. Almost 800 something, $900. Anyway, let's move on. Let's keep looking. Serve Robotics also had hard drop and a nice run up today. Very consistent flow. Most stocks you're going to see this trend, right? WULF had some nice trending. IM Gold all day long. IM Gold. Listen, when the stock market is kind of running down, my tracking and trending for IAG is that they tend to run more up while the market's running down, because this is basically a gold stock, not really a tech or a quantum stock. So look at that. I mean, look at this day right here. Okay, 887 bottom. This was an abandoned baby, 887, all the way to 935. Nice day for IAG. BBAI Okay. Also had some nice action. It hit all the way down to 4.95. Kind of scared me when it got below $5. I'm not going to lie to you all, but it recovered, came back up, and BBAI is still strong on my radar. Still a very bullish stock. Matter of fact, I will be launching this week a quick, maybe call it a sales pitch, not financial advice. Maybe call it a try to keep everyone calm in BBAI, but sharing a little bit about where I'm at in BBAI, because I've got a long-term hold in this one, and where do I think it is. And I think there's some incredible things coming. You'll get that update later this week. All right, let's take a look real quick at some of the August list stuff. Tesla, hard rundown today, everyone. Don't know what's going on with Tesla. Nvidia, same thing. But, again, coming off earnings, 173. Not real happy with that for Nvidia. AMD, and I'm going to talk about AMD in another video, but I'm going to just give you an advanced peek into AMD. I've got a lot of thoughts about this. So you've got these two companies right here, Nvidia, okay? Nvidia's chips are the Rolls-Royce of computer chips. The problem is they have the Rolls-Royce cost associated with their chips. AMD is coming up behind going like, hey, we got some amazing quality chips. We're coming up with even better quality chips, and we're selling them at Toyota prices. I'm sorry, Toyota. I do love Toyota. You are basically in bed with Joby, which is another stock that I love. So I got much love for you, Toyota. But let's just say Toyota prices are not anywhere close to Rolls-Royce prices, and Nvidia and AMD are kind of now a little bit going to be in this battle. And I think AMD may be a stock that it might be time to take a little harder look at and get into. Palantir also still kind of running across, not doing a whole lot. Hood had a nice up today. Rocket Labs, nice run up today. Very happy. I'm still in Rocket Lab long term. I'm in most of these long term. Ionic, had the drop, had a nice up, not really much to write home about. HIMS, yeah, not a great day for HIMS. SMCI, not a great day for SMCI. SMR, same thing. CCL, sort of look, almost mirrors SMR and SMCI. Isn't that funny? Carnival, all right, not really where we wanted it to be. But these are basically the August list, the best day trade stocks for August list. Then we've got Centene, CNC. I'm going to ask everybody to do some homework and research on CNC and let me know what you think. Drop some comments about it. My understanding is this thing's getting ready to crack and it's getting ready to rocket. And it keeps showing this in their daily, what they've been doing. They've been having some really good, strong days. So I don't know. Take a look at it. IREN, a lot of people talking about IREN, had a hard pump up and then down, but I think it was making up for this beautiful up afterwards at the end of the day in the post market. SoFi came back down. I am waiting to see on Tuesday morning what SoFi looks like and where it sits, and time to buy back into SoFi. I told you I'm day trading SoFi. I'm not long-term holding SoFi, but it's not an everyday day trade. It's about every 2 to 3 days that you can get in, ride it from the bottom back up, and then you got to let it come down a day or two before you get back into it. SBET, kind of a down and across. APLD, we talked about. Run, a down, kind of responding a little bit from the day before. You had some some opportunity here to make some money, but not a lot. QUBT, not too bad. QBTS, not too bad. Almost mirror each other. NVTS dropped down and up, same as BBAI, almost identical to that. And you can see that right here with BBAI, and that's the last one we're going to talk about on the list. One thing I want to share with you that I am going to start doing some homework on and research. So I love APLD. I love the whole concept of the data centers. I actually had been doing some research, just watched some news articles and watched some videos. There's a lot of other people talking about APLD right now, and not from the perspective of solely APLD, but from the perspective of three things: AI, energy, and data centers. Let me tell you why those three are so important. This is basically defense sector stuff, all right? There's a lot of discussion about, now I know everyone is sort of sick and tired of talking about AI, right? Big Bear AI, BBAI, love it. It's an AI company. But a lot of people are sort of like done with the whole AI thing. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're not in some form of AI or using AI or grasping and accepting AI, you're going to miss the boat. You're going to miss the boat. The world is now going to be AI driven. They are going to be using AI to come up with different diagnosis for health risks, for ways to cure different diseases they have never been able to do before. They're going to use AI to do that. AI is not something you can just say, I'm done with it, ignore it, or let it go past you. You've got to grasp and accept AI, number one. Number two, the data centers, APLD. All right, these places that are building data centers. Did you know that APLD just built those data centers? Okay, their new home location that CoreWeave is now a tenant of. And potentially, I've heard in the news that there's another company getting ready to sign another tenant contract. We're waiting to see what's going to happen. Don't know if it'll be right away, but there's some discussion about it. Maybe it's a rumor, maybe it's not. But do you know how smart Applied Digital was that they built their data centers extremely close to power cores, okay? Turbines. I don't know what those are called, but basically those huge fans in cornfields that are running by the wind and creating energy, creating power. A lot of talk right now is about nuclear power, but I'm going to tell you personally, and several people's opinions, is that nuclear power takes too long. It's extremely hard to create, and it's not where we need to be in the power source, the energy source. Wind, okay, is going to be something that is strongly looked at again and going to be used in a big way, as well as water and natural gas. That's where it's going to be at for a while. And these data centers that they continue to build, we are going to be in a huge crunch for power, for generation of power to run these data centers. So what I'm doing homework and researching on is what stocks, what are the best stocks to get into for AI, for energy, and the data center. So I'm going to be looking at a lot of that. I'll probably share that with you in another video, but just do some homework, do some consideration of it. Let's kind of see where we closed out the day in the markets. So we closed down the S&P 500 down 0.64%, Dow Jones down 20.20%, the Nasdaq down 1.15%. And you can see here, taking a look at my trading view heat map, what an ugly day for many of the big stocks. And that's really what drove the S&P 500 today pretty much down. So a tough market day. Overall, not too bad though for a day trader, because remember, you can make money in any temperature of the heat map. You just have to be able to pick the right ones based on your support and resistance levels and based on understanding the candlestick patterns. And I've got several videos that are going to be launched this week to give you a little bit of a jump start. We're going to be doing a training video on the cup and handle. We're going to be doing a video on bull and bearish flags, and we're also going to be doing one on the rising wedge. So come back for those, check them out. If you never know, it's never too late to learn something new, and I always learn something more as I continue to create this content. So jump in and see if it's something that may work for you. And we've already got a bunch of videos out there, as far as training on candlesticks and patterns. So just, you got to get in the channel, take a look, see if you can find them. I think I created a playlist with the candlestick training. So just jump in and check that out. Listen, if you're brand new here, thank you so much for coming by. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a new video, and drop me some comments. Talk to me, everyone. This is an amazing community so far. I haven't checked how many subscribers. We were at almost 1,450 the last I looked, but we're going to continue to build this community together. And I so appreciate the comments that you do share, because a lot of you are sharing some of what you're looking at and what you're using. And it gives me a chance to go and do some homework and some research on some of what you're talking about too. So hopefully we're helping each other out. That's how it works. It's a partnership. Glad to have you, and see you again soon. Josh out. Peace.